Hello, hello. Today we're returning to Ker Nethalas, where we will find food or die trying. And I kind of suspect it'll be the latter. But we'll give it our best shot and see how far we get. So, I was reviewing the rules before this session, and I think I've been doing traps wrong. So, I was looking at was if a lock is trapped, you can perform a perception check to see if you detect it in time, and you can then try to dismantle it with a thievery check. If you don't detect it, it means you triggered it when opening the door. So, and then down here, if you spot the trap before triggering it, you can try to disarm it. I can't disarm it because I don't have thieves' tools. If you want to simply avoid the trap, you can perform the skill check associated with it. So I've been doing this. So if you do the skill check, there's a lot of words here, but I think what this is saying is just essentially every time you want to move through the door, Like if it is a trap on a door rather than a trap on a room, or a trap on a chest as opposed to a trap on a room, you can perform the skill check every time to just bypass the trap. If it's a trap on a room, you can't search the room because it is trapped, but you can move through the room by performing the skill check. So again, this is kind of okay. But what happens if you don't detect the trap? I've been rolling this skill check here, but I'm not sure that's actually right, because like triggering a trap and trying to get out of harm's way requires a very hard dodge check. So it seems a little odd that it would actually be easier to dodge a trap I set off unintentionally, because I get to roll on one of these skills without the -30 penalty. So I think if I set off a trap unknowingly, I'm supposed to make this roll, actually, which is much harder to do because my dodge is only a 40. So I think I only have a 10% chance of dodging traps. And I'm kind of wishing I had downloaded the Ker Nethalas Gravebound edition to see if it clarified this point, because it occurs to me just before the session that I might have been doing traps wrong all this time. But oh well, it happens. So let's see, where were we? So we are exploring this second domain of the dungeon, where many rooms in. We found the domain of the Overseer last session. They're in this room here. We've not found the exit, so we're currently on a D8 as our attention die, as our usage die rather, to find the exits. As a reminder, we need to roll a 1 on this die, and then it'll tick down to the next size, and then we need to roll a 1 or a 2, and then it'll tick down. And then when it ticks down from the D4, we have found the thing, and it will reset, and we can possibly find more exits. But we've not found even the first exit yet. The Overseer, the boss monster, is in this room here. They are the Veil Shifter. They are a powerful magical creature that uses illusion magic, and I don't really want to face them yet because I'm not in great condition. I've lost some health. My toughness is low. I've lost some sanity. I've got some skills that can be improved, and it would be nice to improve those. But I can only do all those things by camping, and I can't camp because I don't have any cooking supplies. I don't have any cooking supplies because nothing I've killed has dropped cooking supplies, and I've never succeeded on a scavenge check because I only have a 10% chance of doing that. So, yeah, the goal for this session is to find food or die trying, because I need food so I can camp. Who'd have thought finding food in a dungeon would be so hard. So we ended the session finding another dead end, which means we're going to have to backtrack. Let's see, where is the nearest open door we can pass through? So we have a traps door up here, which we could try to intentionally set this off. That's probably the best option, because otherwise there's some doors in the Overseer room, but we can't get through here without facing the Overseer. I guess we could come all the way around to this door here, but this one could also be trapped. And the only other doors we've got are way down here at the other side of the dungeon. So I think our best bet is going around here and trying to intentionally trigger this trap and dodge it. So we'll be going through 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms and 1 corridor. So that'll be 5 rolls on the tension die to see if anything gets worse. And we'll be crossing off 4 uses of our light. So we'll be using up our torch, and I'll have to light something else. So we have a lamp and 1 thing of lamp oil, which we could use. So yes, that's another problem we've got. We're running a bit low on sources of light, and we can make source of light out of crafting supplies, but again, we do that while camping, and camping without food is bad. So not great, really. I do have a couple of magic items that I might be able to sell. So I've got a magic ring I don't really need. It's good for lockpicking, but I'm so bad there's no point even using it. And there's some greaves that I'm not really been using because they give a penalty to ether. So if I find a merchant, I could sell both of these things and use the money to buy some cooking and crafting supplies. But I've not found a merchant yet either. So, all right, let's move around to this. Actually, I guess we're going through one more room because we can't go through this door as it is locked. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's roll that tension die 6 times. 1, 2, 3, nothing happens. 4, 5, 6, nothing happens. Okay, but we have used up our torch, and we are now onto our. We're 1 point down on our lamp. So I'll mark off our lamp oil as we're now out of that. We don't have any spare. I'll put this over here in the backpack along with the marker for how many torches we've got. I think I've used up these attunement crystals as well. When we last camped, because I identified 2 magic items, because we had 3 magic items, got an amulet as well. So that's another thing we've run out of. So no attunement crystals left. So once this lamp is done, all we've got left are candles. Candles don't last very long. We're up in this room, so we want to intentionally trigger this trap and try to dodge it. So this means we need to pass an impossible dodge check. That is a dodge check at a -30. Our dodge is a 40, so we have a 10% chance of doing this. Oops. Well, yep. We have triggered the trap. It is trap 4. A salvo with small poisoned darts strike the character, who becomes poisoned unless they pass an endurance check, and the darts deal 2d4 piercing damage. So let's see if we are in fact poisoned. 59. I'm pretty sure I'm poisoned. My endurance is like a 20 or something. Yep. Okay, I'm poisoned, so I'll be taking 1 point of damage per room. I think it's poisoned 1. Let's have a quick look at the conditions. Yep, I'll receive 1 damage every round. And yes, outside of combat, it'll be 1 damage per room. When do we find companions? Just wondering that. Okay, companions might come from abilities. It would be nice to have a companion. Perhaps I could kill and eat them. Right, anyway, traps. So it was 2d4 piercing damage. Okay. That's 2 1s, which comes out to 0 on the damage table. So no damage, but I did get poisoned. And I would normally get... Oh, I also need to roll to break down the door. No. It is not locked, so forget what I was just saying. So we're going to open the door and find out what sort of room is beyond. 40 is an actual room. That's nice. You have things in rooms. It's another dead end. That's a real pain. Okay. So the good news is we can't actually get stuck in the dungeon. If our last room would be a dead end, we re-roll. But yeah, it's not great that we keep exploring and just not really finding anything. I think we want this to go like this. Yeah, okay. So 3 at all. Comes in by 1, and it's kind of like that. Let's put this down here and draw the rest of the owl. But yes, it is definitely a pain not finding anything really. Okay, right, let's go to our room flowchart and see what's going on here. So we found a room. We need to roll for the tension die, which is a d8, and also the exit die, which is also a d8. So nothing on the tension die and nothing on the lair die, so neither of those progress. Is there a monster here? Nope. We have to mark off one light source. And since there was no encounter, there'll be an event, which if we're very, very lucky, will be a merchant and we can buy food. But I'm not feeling lucky. The game's taught me not to get hope. 54, I'm pretty certain that's not a merchant. Let's have a look. You hear voices whispering in your ear, rather. Ghosts from the Valorian Ascendancy sharing forbidden secrets. Make a reason check. Okay, my reason is only 10, I think. Yes, I'm not a very smart adventurer. Nope, I fail that. If you fail, you lose 1 sanity, as your mind cannot handle the dark secrets. Okay. Okay. So we're down to 8 sanity. If I'd passed, I would have earned 10 XP, but because of when I last went insane, I would actually have got 0 XP, because I have a minus 10 penalty to all XP sources. So we can still scavenge the room, but again, we only have a 10% chance, so, yep. Alright, so we've just kind of come around in a loop from this room here, and all we've really done is spend light source. Yeah, we really are running low on open doors. I guess this is the best bet down here. Let's see how far away, how many rooms away is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms and a couple of corridors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, 6 rooms, 3 corridors. Let's see if we have any tension things happen along the way. And this is going to eat up a lot of torch as well, which is not good. So 6 rooms on our tension die. Okay, we tick down to D6. And now we've got 3 more rooms down to D4. So the tension die is getting closer to rolling over again. And we've got 6 bits of our light to mark off. But now we're down here by this lock door. So I'm going to try to force this lock open, which means I need to roll to see if it is trapped. And that's a 7+. Yes, a 7+ on the D10. It is trapped. Okay. I don't really have a means of disarming this because I'm dumb. But we need to see at least if I notice that it is trapped. It's a 5 difficulty, I think, which I think means kind of normal. Yes, so just my normal perception skill, but my perception is not 84. It is 50, so I do not notice it is trapped. So I'm going to roll to break the door down, and I will automatically set off the trap as I do so. So this is breaking the door down is based on athletics, and you get a +20 for every attempt, but also need to roll the tension die because it is loud. Now, tension die is on a D4 now. Okay, so probably going to attract some attention. Okay, we break it down. We do get a 1 on the tension die, so something bad is going to happen here. But first, let's resolve the trap. So I didn't know it was traps. I've kicked the door down. Something will happen. It is trap number 9. Which is an alarm that will trigger a combat encounter, which I think will just automatically happen because I didn't notice it, and so I've triggered it. Let's also see what our tension die thing is. And then we will resolve our combat encounter and get on with the next room. 8. You're slowly losing your grip over your own mind. If your sanity is not at its maximum, you automatically lose 1 sanity. Okay, I'm slowly sinking into madness again for a 3rd time. But that could have been worse, I suppose. That goes... no, that's the wrong domain. Here we go. This goes back up to a d8. And we now have a combat encounter from the trap. So it's going to be combat encounter 11 on the first table. So let's go to a new copy of Ker Nethalas. I have like 4 copies open when I play this. Number 11. Yes, a Death Sage. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain about dodging the traps because and this is something I was saying earlier, I wish I'd checked in the new edition of it, because it doesn't really clarify what happens if you don't notice there's a trap there. So if you spot the trap, you can try to disarm it or evade it or activate it but leap out of the way. But it doesn't actually specify what happens if you don't notice. It just says a failure means you've triggered the trap, so I guess that means I can't dodge it. I don't know. I'll check. I'm going to assume for this game that if I don't notice it, it just happens. At least if I'm breaking the door down, perhaps. But I'll check for next time and see. Hopefully that it's clarified in the newer edition, which did tidy up some of the wording. Okay, we've got a Death Sage. Oh, it's horrifying. It's our first horrifying enemy, I believe. So horrifying, I think, means I take 2 points of sanity damage if I... Yes. So I need to make a resolve check at the start of each turn, and if I fail, I take 2 sanity damage. Okay, Death Sage. Death Sages are among the most revered members of Valorian society. Magi priests that worshipped Kalatha, the Valorian goddess of death. Having managed to become one with death itself, Death Sages wield necromantic powers that defy the laws of mortality. Its physical form is withered and skeletal, swathed in tattered robes that once bore grandeur and opulence. This undead mage wields dark secrets with ease, unleashing devastating curses and necrotic energies, and draining the life force from the living to sustain its unnatural existence. Okay, so let's see what we got here. It deals entirely magic damage, so that's not great with my 30 magic resistance. But let's see. The Necrotic Bolt deals necrotic damage, which I am immune to, because I'm suffering from the rot. I'm slowly turning into a horrifying creature of the underworld. Crippling Curse doesn't deal damage, it just gives me disadvantage. And Drain Life also deals necrotic damage, so it might actually not be able to hurt me. That can't be right, surely not. I think that might be right, because, yeah, its only means of dealing damage is necrotic, which I'm immune to. So I suppose the threat here is I'll go mad from the horror of the thing. So, but at least it won't kill me. I'll be alive and mad. Alright, it's got 5 hit points. Let's start, as always, with initiative. So it has an awareness of 60. I have a perception of 50, so it is slightly more aware than me. Okay, I got a 14, which is a pretty good success. It got a 55, however, which is a critical success. So it goes first, and because it got the critical, it acts as if I am surprised. So it will get a plus... So it gets a plus 20 to its combat skill. But none of its combat actions can actually hurt me. Hmm. So I guess what's relevant here is, does it do the crippling curse? Because if it does the crippling curse, I will have disadvantage. But both the necrotic bolt and the drain life cannot hurt me. So okay. It's doing a necrotic bolt. The bolt bounces off me. My turn. Let's see if I start to go mad. A 49 is above my resolve of 20. So I am going to start going mad, or more mad than I was. I'm going to lose 2 points of sanity here. And yes, I will possibly just be driven insane here. Let me just check the monster rules, because I want to know if there's a way it can like actually physically hit me. Okay, nothing in like the monster preamble. What about the combat rules? Like, it does feel kind of odd that it is unable to attack me. Like, unable to hurt me, rather, but... Yeah, I don't see anything there. So yeah, I suppose the Death Sage just can't actually hurt me because of my necrotic damage immunity. Or it can't hurt me physically. Right, anyway, my turn. So I'm going to try to hit it with my sword. And I have... so I'm using my longsword, which I am a weapon master in, so I get a plus 10 to hit. So I'm rolling at a plus 20, so I'm rolling against 81. And I get an extra d4 damage, so dealing a d6 plus d4 damage. And I think I don't really want it to risk it defending against this, so I'm going to use this sure blow. So normally I kind of default to the evasive strike, but since it can't physically hit me, there's no point doing that. So I'm going to go for the sure blow, spending 4 ether to have it not like roll defense. So hopefully I will hit it in a good place and deal a lot of damage. Okay, I got a 54 to hit, which is a success. I hit in location 6, which is probably not the head. No, that's the left leg. And for damage, I got a 1, which is 0, and a 4, which is 1. So I dealt 1 point of damage to it. Right, next round. It is going to inflict the crippling curse upon me. So I need to roll magic resistance, and if I fail that, I need to roll endurance. Okay, I have disadvantage on combat-related checks for the next 4 rounds. Okay. Just note that there. That's unfortunate. But now it's my turn again, so first let's roll to see if I am scared. Horrified, rather. I am, so that's another 2 points of sanity damage. So the question is, how many times are going to be driven insane in this fight? Well, let's try to hit it, and I will spend my last 4 ether to get another sure strike in. And after this, it's just going to be regular hits. I got an 87, which is a failure, because I'm rolling against 81. Okay. Right, its turn. It's doing another crippling curse. That might extend my disadvantage. Yep. Okay, so I'm currently on disadvantage for 3 turns. It's just rolled a 1, so I think... I guess that doesn't extend it. Okay, my turn. I succeeded on my resolve check. So I think I'll just double check, but I think that means it's just this round that I'm not terrified. Horrified, rather. Yes, for as long as the creature remains alive or in your same room. So I'm not used to it now. I'm just temporarily not as horrified as I could be. That's a 70 to hit, which is a success, and the disadvantage doesn't change that. I still don't hit it on the head, but I got a 1 damage and 2 damage, so 3 damage total. And I've got 2 more rounds of disadvantage now. It's draining my life, but I'm immune to necrotic damage. Back to my turn. I'm so unscared of this. Death Sage, old news. Okay, let's see if I can finish it this round. That's a 69 to hit, which with the disadvantage becomes a 96, so that is a miss. Okay, back to its turn, and I've only got 1 round of disadvantage now. It's doing a necrotic bolt. Back to my turn. I didn't resist the scariness, so that's 2 points of sanity damage. And let's roll to hit. That's a 17, which, even with the disadvantage, as a 71 still hits, so that's fine. And I deal 1 point of damage, which is just the right amount. So I defeat the Death Sage, somehow without going mad in the process. Very glad I passed the roll in those 2 rounds. So that's another 50 XP, getting very close to level 3 now. I've defeated 1 more opponent with bladed weapons, and I've dealt another 5 slashing damage. So everything's kind of ticking along slightly closer. And its spoils are on the resource table. Let's see. Resources. Please be cooking supplies. Please be cooking supplies. Six. Yes! A cooking supply. I can camp. Okay, let's also search the room. I failed to search the room. Oh, hang on, no, this is the same room. This all happened as I was going through this door. I suppose you need to roll to see what is on the other side of the door. Is room 82. Yes, finally, after 9 hours, I found like a dead rat to eat or something. Another weirdly shaped room. So it's gonna come in kinda like this. I think that's right. Yeah, 3 on each side. Getting a door down here. Well, we don't know if this door is locked or trapped or anything, so we'll come back to that. And then on this side, we've got some weird stuff going on. So I think I was saying this last time, but I'm really curious like what these dungeon geomorphs are actually supposed to represent. Because I don't think I've ever needed a room like of this shape in a dungeon. Something's gone slightly wrong here. Oh yes, I'm missing a whole little section. Like this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, let's do our new room procedure. Mark off 1 point of light. We need to check the dice. So our tension die and our exit die are back on D8. So let's do the tension die first. Nothing happens. And the exit die, nothing happens. So we're still no closer to finding the exit. Let's see. Tension, lair, light source. Do we have an encounter here? I really hope not. I just want to camp. 15, that's an encounter. Okay. Okay. Specifically, encounter number 17. Let's deal with this, I suppose. Then we can camp. Giant spider. Oh, that sounds easy. Classic dungeon enemy. The giant spider, towering over the unwary with its immense size, this arachnid monstrosity weaves intricate webs that glisten with a malevolent sheen, ensnaring both prey and the minds of those who dare to gaze upon it. Its hairy, jet-black body is marked with fearsome crimson patterns, a macabre warning of the venomous threat it poses. 8 beady eyes, each glinting with predatory intelligence, survey its surroundings with an uncanny awareness, while its serrated fangs drip with a potent neurotoxin. Okay, that doesn't sound so good. Also, I've remembered I'm poisoned. I should have taken 1 poison damage for every room I went through, which was like... I can't remember where I got poisoned. I'm sure I passed through at least 6 rooms since getting poisoned, so I'll just knock off... Okay. I guess that drops to 0, and I'll knock off 2 health, and then I recovered D4 toughness because I finished a fight. I got 2 toughness back, but I'm still poisoned. So I need to deal with this poison, or I might just die. Fortunately, in combat, it won't be dealing any damage, because in combat rounds, this number here, this 1 for the poison, is looked up on this damage table, and a 1 is 0 damage. But when moving between rooms, it is direct damage that just bypasses the table. Right, so giant spider, it is an arachnid. The weak point is in the cephalothorax. Okay, it has 1 point of armor over its entire body, and it is alert, which I believe means we can't surprise it. I can heal poison, yes. I can do that while camping or as an action in combat. You can't just do it outside of combat or camping. So I can now do it now that I have food. Alert, yes, can't be surprised. Okay. And it can inflict more poison conditions. Okay, I don't think we have anything else that's relevant to spiders. Ah, yes, +1 to all damage. Okay, that's another thing to recall. Right, let's fight the spider. Okay, this one also has 5 health. I could try to sneak away, but my stealth is only 20. And it has 60 awareness. That's probably not going to work. I think it's best to quickly fight it, and then camp, heal the poison, recover damage, and go die to the dungeon boss. Right, okay. So my perception versus its awareness. It got a 58, which is a very good success. I got a 60, which I'm pretty certain is a failure. Yeah, okay. It goes first. Right, so I need to roll to see what sort of attack it does. And what does it do for damage? It does a d8 damage. I'll need to know a hit location. I need to roll my defense. So it's doing attack 4, which is the web snare. Okay, so it doesn't actually need to roll to hit, I guess. I just need to roll to dodge. I got a 27, which my dodge is a 40, so I do dodge. I dive out of the way of this sticky web, so I am fine. Now I will attempt to hit the spider. Also, all of my ether has recovered because that recovers every time you go between rooms, and I suppose I'll spend 4 ether on a sure hit so it doesn't get to roll to defend against this one. That's a 93 to hit, which it doesn't matter if it would defend. That's a miss anyway. Okay. Right, back round to its turn. Thankfully, it's not frightening, so I don't need to. I'm not risking like going mad in the middle of this combat. Alright, it's doing a venomous bite. It got a 56 to hit, which is above its combat skill. So it's rolling against 40 because it's the initiator, so that is a miss. I succeeded on my dodge roll, so I get to take a defensive action. And I knew it felt like I wasn't rolling enough dice. Here we go. Defensive action number 8. Let's find that. You pressure advantage, reducing your opponent's next defensive roll by -20. Okay. I guess I won't bother spending ether to do a sure hits this round then. Because it will only have a 10 to resist. So let's go for that. Right, it got a 79 to defend, which is a complete miss. But I got. Oh no, I got a 100 to 100 to hit. That's a fumble. So a fumble in combat means it does just automatically succeed. So it gets to do a defensive maneuver, which is maneuver number 3. I'm now bleeding. Okay. So let's note that down. Thankfully, this doesn't stack with the poisoned damage. But like the poisoned, it will deal damage as I explore the dungeon unless I deal with it. Actually, I might need bandages to deal with that. Let's have a look at yet another copy of the PDF. Bleeding. Perhaps it's described under camping. Ah, yes, heal condition. So I only have 1 bandage, I think. Yeah, I have 1 bandage, so I can heal being poisoned or bleeding. I can craft bandages at the cost of 1 crafting supply, so I guess I have to make a bandage and spend it to deal with these things. Alright, well, so that was me failing to hit the spider really badly. Now let's see if the spider manages to hit me. Right, it's doing attack 4, the web snare, so we ignore its hit roll and target and whatnot. But I got a 28 to dodge, which is fine. Since I don't have the -20 to its defense, I guess I'll spend another 4 ether my last 4 ether to get another sure hit in. Right, that's hit location 16, which I got a 17 to hit, which hits. 16 to hit on an arachnid is the right front leg, or the front right leg, which is not the cephalothorax, so that's not a critical hit. Because I didn't need to roll that because it wasn't defending. And I deal 1 point of damage. Okay, we're wearing it down. Back to the spider's turn. It's doing a venomous bite, and it got a 60 to hit, which is a miss. I defended with an 86, which I'm pretty certain, yeah, that's way off. So I'm rolling against a 71 to... Sorry, no, I'm rolling against an 81 to defend because I have... My base skill is 61, I have plus 10 from my weapon master, and I also have a plus 10 because the longsword is a parrying weapon. But 86 is above 81, so I don't get to do a defensive maneuver. So it's back around to my turn. I don't have any ether to spend, so it will get to roll to defend against this attack. Alright, I got a 43 to hit, and it got a 13 to defend. My number is higher, so I succeed. I hit it in location 10, which is still not the cephalothorax. Oh, it has 1 point of armor over its full body, doesn't it? So I didn't actually deal any damage with my last hit. That's still on 5. Okay, so I got a 5 and a 4 for the damage. So that's 3 damage total, which becomes 2 because of its armor. So its turn. It is again trying to bite me venomously and gets a 36 to hit, which is a success because it is rolling against 40 as the initiator of the attack. I got a 29 to defend, so it succeeds. So that is D8 damage. That is 1, which is 0, but actually 1 because I have +1 damage, +1 to all enemies here have +1 to all damage. So my toughness goes down by 1. And I need to make an endurance check or be poisoned. So 25. My endurance is only 20. Okay, so now I now have poisoned 2, so I'm going to start losing health every round. I'll take 1 point of damage every round now. So back to my turn, I take 1 point of damage. I've now got 0 toughness, so I'll be directly taking health damage for all subsequent damage, which is not good. So maybe I do want to forgo attacking this round and actually heal myself. Let's see. Can I only use bandages in camp? No, I believe it was described in the conditions. Okay. As a free action, I can make an endurance check to try to resist being poisoned on a round. But it doesn't say anything about actually removing the condition. So I guess I do need to camp to fix being poisoned. I can't do it in the midst of combat, but I do at least get to roll to resist. So I will do that. 37. No. So yes, I took that point of damage from being poisoned. So I will attempt to hit the spider. It's 84 to hit, which is a miss. I'm pretty certain. Yeah, I have an 81 to hit. So I missed. It successfully defended, so he gets to take a defensive action. Number 4. Which it gets a +10 to its next attack. Alright, back around to its turn. It's affecting me with this terrifying gaze, which is magical. So it's kind of wasted its +10 to hit, I suppose. I got a 99, which is a crit fail, so I definitely did not resist. I am... Oh no, I don't need to... I'm not frightened yet. I need to roll to resist. So I failed my magic resistance, so I need to succeed on a resolve check, or be frightened for 2 rounds. That's a 55, which is also a crit fail. I guess the good thing about crit fails is when you roll a crit fail or succeed, you get to mark a skill for improvement. So I'm going to learn something from this experience. I am frightened, though, which means I get a -20 to all attack checks for the next 2 rounds. Okay. Note that there. I feel this combat isn't going well. But oh well. Right, okay. Just needs to deal 3 damage, and then we can camp and recover, and everything will be fine. Got a 37 to hit, which is a hit, even frightened as I am. It got a 30 to defend, so I just slightly succeeded. And I didn't hit it in the head. Got a 6 and a 2. That's 2. That's 3 damage -1 because of the armor, so it has 1 health left. And I'm frightened for 1 more round. Just need to, like, not die this round. Okay. It is doing another venomous bite. Got a 39 to hit, which is a success. I got a 7 to defend, which is a success, but it is a lower number, so I do not successfully defend. Yes, also, previous round, I should have rolled to... I was poisoned, so let's... 60. I didn't resist the poison, so I took 1 point of health damage for being poisoned. Right, anyway, it hit me. It got a 7 for its damage, which is 3 damage. Okay. And I might be more poisoned, so I need to make another endurance check. Let's get these dice out the way and do that. $38. Endurance. Yep, I am more poisoned now. Poison 3. Okay, right. My turn. Let's try to resist the poison. Nope. Okay, so that's another 1 point of damage. So I'm down to 2 health. And I really need to kill the spider right now so I can deal with this poison. Oops. Right, it got a 31 to defend. I got a 60. Yes, a 60 to hit. So I succeed. I don't hit it in the head, so it's not a critical hit, but I got a 2 and a 3. That's 2 points of damage, -1 because of the armor. Oh, hang on, I'm frightened. That's fine. I was rolling against a 61 in that case. So I dealt 1 damage, and it's all fine. Right. Okay, so that's 50 XP. I recover a D4 of toughness. And I need to camp right now or I'll just like drop dead. Defeated another opponent. That's another enemy and some hit points. And right, let's camp. Okay, camping. Camping. We've not done this for so long. Okay. I need to loot the spider. And also search this room. Resources table. It'd be very useful to camp twice. Because I need to turn a cooking supply into food. And you can't do that. I got a 5. A cooking supply. Excellent. Okay. So you consume food when you camp. And if you rest, you can't do any other camp activity. So I guess what I need to do is I need to camp once where I will turn my cooking supplies into food and I will craft a bandage and heal conditions. And then I want to camp again, consuming my second ration to rest, which will heal me even more and let me improve my skills and possibly turn me into more of a horrible monster with the rot. So yes, it's good that I have 2 cooking supplies now. And I need to roll to scavenge the room. That's never gonna succeed. Okay, right. So camping 1. Let's work out what I need to do here. Should scribble something down here. So I need to do cooking twice. Oh no, cooking, you just do it once and it turns all cooking supplies into rations. I need to craft bandages once. That'll give me 2 bandages so I can deal with both conditions I've got. And then I want to heal conditions twice. So immediately spending my bandages. And this will leave me with no cooking supplies, 1 ration, and 2 crafting supplies. Maybe I also want to craft a torch while I'm at it. Yeah. So I'll end up with 1 crafting supply left, 1 ration left, 1 new torch, all of my bandages used up, and my conditions healed. And then I can camp again and rest and slightly improve things even more. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, let's also work out what my roll will be. So I need to roll a 10 plus on a d20, or a 21, 11 plus on a d20 because I have a bedroll. Cooking reduces the check roll by 1. So I'm rolling against a 10. Crafting bandages reduces, so I'm rolling against a 9. This reduces it, so I'll be rolling against a 7. That's not great, so I think I also want to barricade, which would add a plus 5. So I'll be rolling against a 12 on the d20. Okay, let's try that out. I got a 14, which is a 12 or higher. So I'm not interrupted. Let's work through these. Cooking. I use up my cooking supplies and produce 2 rations. I then craft bandages, which uses up 1 crafting supply. And I'm now on 2 bandages. I heal conditions. Oh, sorry. Cooking gives me exhaustion. Crafting bandages gives me exhaustion. So let's add to those. So I'm on 11 exhaustion. Healing conditions. Spend 1 bandage per condition to remove it. Increase your exhaustion by 1. So I'm doing this twice because I have 2 conditions. That goes up to 13. My bandages drop down to 0. So I'm running out of these consumables, but I am not poisoned or bleeding anymore. This also gives... Yes, I did the exhaustion. Crafting a torch gives 1 exhaustion and uses 1 crafting supply, but I have a torch now. Let's put that back down here. 1 torch. That gives me an exhaustion as well. And finally, barricade, which gives 1 exhaustion, uses 1 crafting supply, but makes it easy to succeed on the check. Right, okay, then I get the general camping benefits. I recover all lost toughness. I'm back up to 19 toughness. I get 1 health. I regain D4 sanity, 2 sanity. And I reduce exhaustion by 10. Okay, pretty successful camp. Also, I eat a ration, also just automatic. So I'm down to 1 ration. Now I think I want to camp again and just go for rest, because this will heal additional health, clean up that last bit of exhaustion, and let me improve my skills. And I want to improve my skills because some of the ones I've checked are pretty low. So yes, I'm just going to do that. And I'm now rolling this. So resting increases the camp check roll by 2. So I want to roll... So I'm rolling a d20 plus 2, and I want to get... why is this so? I'm rolling a d20 plus 3, and I want to get 10 or higher. Yes. Okay, cool. That's fine. So I reduce my exhaustion by another 5. I heal 1 extra health. And I get the regular benefits, so toughness goes up, health goes up, sanity goes up. And I get to improve my skills, so let's look up how that works. Right, an improvement check can be done while resting at camp. To make a skill improvement check, you must roll D100 above the skill's score. A success increases the skill by D4, whereas rolling below it increases it by 1. So, okay. Let's start. Let's just work my way down the list. So, athletics. I got a 75, so I get D4 in athletics. It's 3 in athletics. Bladed weapons. I got a 97. Excellent. I get 2 more in bladed weapons. Dodge. I got a 19. I succeeded on a dodge roll, so I only get 1 point. Resolve. 72. But I only got a 1 on the d4. That's a shame. And finally, scavenge. Yep, I got a 68, and I get 3 points there. Okay, so skills have gone up. And finally, where is it in the... Here we go. The Rot. I have been inflicted by the Rot by some horrible being last session. It is a horrible disease that will transform me into a terrible monster. So I'm currently on stage 1. I'm immune to necrotic damage, but vulnerable to holy damage, which is kind of just a straight upgrade because it seems unlikely things down here would deal holy damage, whereas multiple things deal necrotic damage. But I need to pass an endurance check because I have rested in camp. I failed an endurance check. I proceed to stage 2. Your max toughness is reduced by half. Oh, that's really bad. That's so bad. So my max toughness drops from 19 to 9, I guess. Ah, that's awful. Stage 3 is pretty good. Your skin becomes black as charcoal, but you can see in the dark, so that means I won't need a light source anymore. But oh, this stage 2 is bad. In fact, stage 4 also looks bad. Does it alternate good and bad? That's kind of neat. So stage 1 is good, stage 3 is good. Stage 5 is very good. Stage 7 is good. But then stage 2 is bad, 4 is bad, 6 is bad, and 8 is game over. So yes, all the even stages are bad, all the odd stages are good. Okay. Well, we've camped, I think, where are we? We're down here. I think it's maybe time to go face the Overseer now. There's a very short route here via this locked door, but I don't know if this door is going to be trapped or not. Could go the longer way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But like 3 of those were corridors, I think. Yeah, I think that's a corridor. So 6 rooms, 3 corridors. It's going to be more lights gone. But if I go here to the locked door and then can't get through, that's even worse. Yeah, I think it's worth going the long way around, which is somewhat safe, but slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, so we need to roll the tension die 9 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's just work all these out later. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we have 1 growing darkness. It's 15. Did you hear that? They're coming for you. Whenever you take a breather, which I've not actually done so far, you not only reduce the tension die by 1 stage, you must also immediately make a tension die check. Okay. Maybe I should be taking a breather. What does it actually do? Taking a breather, regardless of what sort of training you receive before being cast into Ker Nethalas, you'll sooner or later require a break, even if it's a short one. This is called taking a breather. It allows you to recover D10 toughness, 1 health, and reduce your exhaustion by 2. Unfortunately, this reduces your light source by 5 and the tension die by 1 stage. Okay, so yeah, it'd be worth doing this from time to time. Let's mark off 6 points of light from the 6 rooms I've passed through. And I think that's everything. So we enter the room of the Overseer. So our Overseer is the Veil Shifter. The ability they're imparting to the dungeon inhabitants is penetrating 2. We're not wearing any armor, so that is irrelevant. The Veil Shifter, the illusory archon, is an enigma of shifting realities that commands illusions and weaves intricate webs of deceit. Its form is ever-changing, a kaleidoscope of images that confound the senses, and its mastery over illusory arts casts doubt upon the very fabric of truth. With ethereal gestures, it unleashes bursts of dazzling light that blind and disorient, while its manipulation of reality can transform the battlefield into a surreal dreamscape. Veilshifter's arcane power extends to summoning ephemeral doppelgangers that mimic its abilities, creating a labyrinthine challenge for adventurers as they attempt to decipher the real from the unreal. So, it has the Ruthlessness 2 trait, which I believe means it has 2 extra actions, and Swift. Let's look those up. Swift, it ignores all reaction negative modifiers. That doesn't really matter because I can only do 1 attack per round. And Ruthlessness, it has an additional number of standard actions. So yes, it can do 3 things per round. Thankfully, it's not frightening or anything. It's just very tough. And it has 12 health. So let's see if we actually survive this thing. Right, its awareness is 70. So let's see. It got a 60. It crit succeeded on its awareness check. So that means it acts as if I am surprised. So it has a plus 20 if it's doing a physical attack this first round, which it looks like it actually won't do. It only does magical attacks, but it's still going first. Right, there's going to be a lot of dice here because it can do 3 attacks per round, and it can actually summon doppelgangers who will do their own attacks. Okay, let's just see what it is doing first, and then we'll resolve that. Okay, so it's doing Reality Flux twice and Ethereal Distortion once. Start with Ethereal Distortion, I suppose. Actually, I suppose it matters because I can become... Does blinded effects thing? I suppose the order of these two doesn't matter, but generally it does matter, so I should roll these one at a time from now on. But anyway, let's start with the Ethereal Distortion. This is a magic attack, so I need to roll magic resistance. I magically resisted. It's fine. Okay, now we've got 2 reality fluxes. 34. My magic resistance is a 30. Yeah. The Veil Shifter manipulates reality, causing a torrent of illusions to clash upon the target, dealing 2d6 arcane damage. Okay, that's 5 points of damage just right off the bat. And then it's doing another Reality Flux, which I also failed to resist. So that's another 5 points of damage straight away. So I'm down to 0 toughness and 4 health in the first round, the first turn of combat. I've not even got to act yet. Okay, my turn. My ether's recovered, so let's do a sure strike. So it can't defend. Alright, I got a 46 to hit. That is a success. I hit it right in the 4, which is not the head. It has 1 point of armor over its entire body. I got a 2 and a 3, so I'm dealing... It's got 1 point of armor. So I'm dealing 1 point of damage. Okay, just need to do that 11 more times before I die. Right, now onto its turn. So, firstly, it will... Dreamscape Shift. I don't resist, so I have to succeed an athletics check or fall prone. That's a 35. My athletics skill is a 33, so I have fallen prone. I'll be missing my next action because all I can do is get up to on my feet. Do I have any, like, potion? I got some potions. Potion of Recover 5 ether. That's not useful, really, in this situation. Okay. I don't think this fight is going to last very long. Right. Next, it will cause another reality flux, which I do not resist, so that's more damage. That's going to be 3 damage. And then it's doing an ethereal distortion, another magic attack. I also don't resist it. The veil shifter distorts reality around it, creating a shifting landscape of illusions. Creatures in the area must succeed on a magic resistance check or become blinded and entangled for 2 rounds. Okay, I am prone, blinded, and entangled. What do blinded and entangled do? Let's get my listed conditions. Blinded, I have -40 to all checks, and entangled, I have -20 to anything that implies movement. Okay. Right, my turn. I guess I clamber up to my feet, blinded as I am, so I'm no longer prone. I'm going to try to... as a free action, you can attempt an athletics check to become unentangled. But my athletics is 33, so I'd be trying to roll at 33 -40. So yes, I can't actually succeed on detangling myself. So a turn goes by. And it's the Veil Shifter's turn again. Doppelganger Surge. The Veil Shifter summons illusory doppelgangers that support it in combat. 2 doppelgangers appear near the Veil Shifter and use its illusory mirage action immediately on themselves. So that means it becomes heavily obscured. 2 doppelgangers with illusory mirage. These doppelgangers last until they've been struck once, and then only act once per round each. In their turn, a doppelganger makes a physical attack against a target, dealing 2d4 psychic damage if landing a strike. Okay. So I'm going to be beaten to death by doppelgangers in a moment. But that was its first action. Next, 5 Dreamscape Shift. I am going to fall prone again because I've got I have a -40 on my athletics. So if I don't magic resist this, I magic resisted it. It's fine. I'm not prone again. And then 3 Reality Flux. I do not magically resist that. I am dead. That was a very quick fight. Okay. Let's go look at the death thing. There's like the kind of easy baby mode where you don't actually die, which I used once before. Forgiving death. Honestly, starting over with a new character, I think now that I know more about the system, seems like a good idea. So if I choose to die, I would recover some sanity and health. The Overseer will have wandered to a new place, so I need to find them again, I suppose. and I would lose 3 mastery abilities of my choosing, but I have to keep at least 1 ability per thing. So I'd lose my sure blow. But I'm kind of thinking if I was to build a character again, I would know that resolve is really important to resist sanity damage because a lot of enemies do sanity damage, and scavenge is important because I've been finding no resources at all. Finally, thievery, perhaps for picking locks and disarming traps. So yeah, I didn't put barely put any points into these skills, but they're actually very important. Let's have a look at character creation. What skills do you get? And what did I put points in? So my weapon skills I chose were bladed weapons and bludgeoning weapons. I then think I put a plus 30 in. Yeah, I put a plus 30 in dodge and perception. And I actually put a plus 30 in thievery. I just never used it. That was because I only had one lockpick in this run. Then I put a plus 20 in athletics. Probably, yep, in endurance and stealth. Stealth. It is a similar feeling to Morkin, yes, where in my first run I made a character and they just turned out to be incompetent at all the actual useful things. Okay, so I did put some points in these skills, but I guess I should have really should have put at least a plus 20, maybe even the plus 30 in resolve because so many things deal psychic damage. And let's see, medicine. Yes, medicine lets you recover toughness. Right, so yes, you need the medicine skill to deal with bleeding. Okay. So yeah, I think I'd make a better character now that I actually know how to play the game and what's valuable here. Let's see. But we're about halfway through the stream, so I'll have a short break, and then we can come back and start again, I suppose. So I'll be back in a moment. Far Against Darkness and Astro Prisma. Yes, I've heard of both of those. I've not really looked into them. Far Against Darkness came when I was looking into like dungeon crawling games. Um, because there's like Far Against Darkness, Ker Nethalas, and another one whose name I can't remember, which is kind of the like big dungeon games. It's going to bug me that I can't remember what the third one was now. But yes, there were the kind of three that were popular. Astro Prisma also looks interesting. So thinking I might pick that one up in the future to try it out. Um, but actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to quickly go to Drive-Through RPG and download the updated Ker Nethalas. And we can have a look at what is actually different in the new edition. Let's see. Oh, there's a PDF and a zip file. I wonder what's there. Right, let's let me just hide my PDF for a moment in case this is going to pop up with like an order number or something. No, looks okay. Okay, let's see. Does it have like a handy summary? Yeah, I think Ker Nethalas is pretty fun. It's just, I guess there's always like a slight period of frustration when you start a new game when you're not that familiar with the rules, and so you make suboptimal choices that kind of come back to bite you. Like, I didn't realize like how much having terrible scavenging would like cripple my character because not being able to find like food or supplies or whatever really as I wandered the dungeon made it much harder to actually like do things. Um, I guess I probably like rank Morkin higher than this in terms of like fun, though I'm wondering like which would be more replayable. So obviously in Morkin there's the hex map, um, and there is a procedure for generating your own hex map, but I wonder like how fun that would actually be if you're deviating from kind of the go to the place and get the thing mission. Whereas Ker Nethalas is all procedural generation, but it is just dungeon crawling, whereas Morkin is also hex crawling and stuff. But yes, I probably would rank Morkin above this. Let's see what else have we got in my list of things. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different like styles of solo games, right? So there's the more journaling style ones like Thousand Year Old Vampire and Lichdom and whatnot, which are kind of fun for a single session, but I feel it would be tough to play a journaling game for multiple sessions because there's very little like gameplay to them. There's the solo kind of like adventure book style ones, like the Call of Cthulhu solo adventures, which are of mixed quality. I think Alone Against the Frost was pretty bad. I do remember enjoying Alone Against the Flames when I played that some years ago, and Alone Against Nyarlathotep was pretty good. Also, way more complicated than the official Alone scenarios. I didn't really get on with the One Ring. I didn't like the journey rules, as you know, I complained about it a lot. Yes, Morkin was very fun. I enjoyed Morkin. And let's see, Legend of the Mist, for some reason, I didn't really get along with that one. And yeah, that kind of covers what I've tried out so far. I guess there's also, Traveller down here, which was going okay until the spaceship blew up. But yeah, I think I do prefer the I guess the more like Morkan style where it's it's kind of got like some. It's got like fairly heavy like procedural like board gamey elements. Like we're moving through this this place and we're rolling on this on like these tables for events and stuff. But you can kind of still it's not like a pure board game. You can still treat it more as like generating a story and like roleplay your character somewhat. Whereas Ker Nethalas is a bit more towards like the board game end. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in trying out other things that kind of mix the like role playing and like procedural style of things, like Astro Prisma. Hmm. Yeah, I think Legend of the Mist. I just wasn't really getting it for some reason. I was finding it hard to get into it, so I don't think I did like a good example of how to play it. Really, yeah. Because I did once play and enjoy a campaign of City of Mist, which is kind of like the system that eventually became Legend of the Mist, and they have another game as well called I think it's Otherscape or something. Um, yeah, let's see. Does this say what is different to the basic game? It might not, which is kind of a pain. Let's see what this zip file has. Does it have a change log? It doesn't. Oh, that's a pain. So the only way to really know what's different is to actually read the whole book, which is somewhat annoying. Uh, just have a look at Astro Prisma. Yeah, I've got Astro Prisma bookmarked to check out sometime. Yeah, I didn't back it on Kickstarter, so I'll just have to like uh wait, I suppose, for when it's properly available. As I don't think they're doing pre-orders or late backing that I can see. Like, yeah. So normally there'd be like a button to late back it, but that doesn't seem to be present. Yeah, it's definitely something I'll check out when it becomes available. Let's see if there's anything about backing, perhaps. Oops. And I guess if fulfillment was like partially complete in January, surely it's not going to be that long before they make it more generally available. Yeah, the website does say late pledges open, but then the backer kits pre-orders are disabled, which you can't actually see because I massively crop my Firefox window. But yes, it says pre-orders are disabled. But yes, definitely something I'll check out later. Right. I guess we'll make a new Ker Nethalas character. I suppose we can stick with the new edition. Let's, I guess, move this stuff out of the way. put this up here along with the other X games, and let's see what we've got with these play aids and stuff. So yeah, so let's open a few copies of the PDF. We have a rules reference. Yes, I was wondering about traps. I wondered if it clarified things in here. Let's have a look. Exploring Ker Nethalas, locks and traps. This looks much more clearly laid out with bullet points and nested lists and stuff. Okay, right, let's see. Based on what your investigation revealed or failed to reveal, so if we don't find a thing, we now decide what to do. If we detected a trap, let's say that we didn't detect a trap. Trap triggered. If you failed your perception check, interacting with the trapped feature will trigger it. This includes opening an unlocks feature, attempts to pick the lock, attempts to brute force the feature. Okay, so right, the trap is triggered. If a trap triggers as a consequence of a failed perception check, roll to determine the trap type, then make a skill check to avoid it. Okay, so you do roll when the thing happens. What about the... right, so you can disarm it, you can bypass it, or you can trigger it. So yeah, this has changed. So let's find the original rulebook. So the original rulebook. Let's find traps. So here you can choose to willingly trigger a trap, requires an impossible dodge check. But here, if you voluntarily trigger it, you get a plus 20 to the avoidance check. So what you roll has changed. It's no longer dodge, it's whatever the thing for the trap is, which could be like acrobatics, and you get a plus 20 rather than a minus 30. That's very different. Okay, so we've got our rulebook, we've got our rules reference, we have our exploration flowchart. This is, yeah, this is the same as before. Character sheets, let's see, is this any different? Our standard character sheet over here. It's not very, kind of a bit awkward to see because I am, let's see. Yeah, there's no like PDF bookmarks in this, so the PDF is the wrong size for what I'm showing on the screen. But let's see. So okay, so the character sheet is slightly different, but not massively so. We've got this addition of resistances, whatever they are. And we have a separate PDF with the room and corridor shapes. Are those in the main rulebook as well? Yeah, they are. Okay. All right. So we can find a blank spot on the whiteboard, and I'll start by copying over a character sheet. We had sheets for companions before. Wonder where those went. Let's have a look what it says about companions in here. Companion, page 81 and 131. I don't see much about companions on these pages, like not a character sheet, which is what I was kind of looking for. Let's see, what would I enjoy having more? Hmm. Hmm. I'm not sure. I think I'm still like working out what style of solo game I like the most. So I think I've decided that I don't particularly enjoy the like totally freeform ones. Like for instance, the journaling ones. They can be kind of fun to play once in a while, but I think it would be a real struggle to do like a full campaign with just like a journaling RPG. Um, so I do like having like some sort of structure to it, something which helps kind of guide the adventure along. Honestly, maybe the Mythic Game Master emulator would be good for this. I've got it, but I've never actually read it. Um, though the One Ring tried to kind of the Moria supplement had this like random mission generator, if you recall, but the missions it gave were not great. It felt a little bit tricky to interpret them as anything other than go on a long journey, do an objective, and do a long journey back. So, like a mission generator needs to produce like interesting things that don't, in practice, play out the same all the time. So I think something that like helps keep track of story threads and helps guide you to interesting things happening, which um, Mythic is supposed to be really good at. I need to like just actually read it, and then maybe it'll be the perfect solution to all of my solo gaming needs. I can't actually find the Mythic PDF right now. Where is it? I have it somewhere. Alright, so I was looking in the wrong place. So yes, of course, Mythic has this whole system for keeping track of stuff and like generating adventures, answering yes or no questions. So you keep track of. Mythic is like the one of the first, I think, ways to play solo RPGs. Certainly one of the biggest. So there's kind of two schools of thought for how you do solo RPGs. One is that you play a game specifically designed for solo play, like Morkin or Ker Nethalas or whatever. Another is you just take an arbitrary game and you use either a tool to kind of emulate the game master or emulate the players. And Mythic is a game master emulator. So kind of the core of it is if I can find it somewhere. Yes, the core of it is like the fate charts, which give you different odds on things depending on like how likely you think it is, and you've got this chaos factor that you can use to make things a bit more like more or less likely. And you could kind of just play using Mythic and just kind of using the chaos factor for like yes or no questions. Yeah, you can play with any game. But then it adds extra things on top of that. So let's just Let's not keep scrolling through the page. Let's just look at the table of contents. So yes, it's got random events. Like if you ask a yes or no question and you get like an extreme result, that would trigger a random event, and you would roll to see like what happens there. It's got guidance about how to structure scenes and adventures. It has a big list of random tables. It's got stuff about keeping track of like plot threads and NPCs and how to like introduce those and bring them in like an unpredictable way. So this is probably the way that, I guess, until like solo specific systems took off, this was probably the main way people were playing solo. And for some reason, I've not actually looked at it yet, despite owning the PDF and the book for a while. So maybe that'll be what I do next. Actually, maybe I should just read Mythic and try using it. But there's other tools as well for like solo stuff. So, for instance, a kind of much more abbreviated version is the Universal NPC emulator, which helps like generate a personality and goal for an NPC, and you can kind of use this to like. I've sometimes used this in like non-solo games to help flesh out a character. Like, okay, what does this person care about? What sort of character are they? You can roll on some tables and get some prompts to kind of help you with that. Iron Swarm was definitely a big one that really took off, but it wasn't the first solo game. Yeah, I think that's probably a property of like good solo systems. If you think like, could I use this to aid GMing a non-solo game? Because sometimes when you're running a group game, you want a bit of inspiration as well, and like having something you can roll on to help you with that can help. I mean, you could even use, let's see. So, or like, oops, this is on the wrong monitor. There we go. So you could even use something like Worlds Without Number. Nope, that's fine. You could even use something like Worlds Without Number, which comes with like GM tools for like managing factions and stuff to kind of help run like a solo game. You could potentially just be playing it as a normal adventure game, and you kind of outsource what all the factions and major powers are doing to this system that it comes with. So yeah, there's lots of ways you can kind of run solo games, and running solo specific systems is not the only way. But yes, let's get back to making a Ker Nethalas character, and hopefully one who will be more competent this time. Because I know more about what the system wants you to do. Okay. Alright, so we want our exploration of flowchart copied over as well. Grab that. Put this over here. All right, into the Midnight Throne. Probably just skim over to character creation. Though the danger of a new edition, which doesn't clearly indicate the differences, maybe I'll skim past something important. Right, let's see. Level 1. Oh, I need much bigger text, or maybe a much smaller image. I don't know. Go with bigger text. Well, level 1, we have no XP. I don't think there's any meta progression in Ker Nethalas. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could like bolt it on, but it doesn't look like there's anything built in. But yeah, it would potentially be a good thing and make like the loss of a single character not such a big deal. If you could, I don't know, play someone who comes over and comes across their body and finds their stuff and has a bit of meta progression from that. See what crime we committed. 8. Treason. We engaged in treason. We need a good name for a treasonous person. A dumb idea immediately came to mind. Boy Fawkes. Not to be confused with Guy Fawkes. Totally different. Not related at all. Original character. Let's see. So we've got name, gender, age, and overall appearance. Well, yeah. Right. We are Boy Fawkes. The treasonous person. And let's see, you get d6 plus 10 health. 12 health, not great. Toughness is 3d6 plus 20. Uh, 31. That's pretty good. Ether is d6 plus 8. Okay, 9 ether. I guess we're not playing spellcaster. Now sanity is d6 plus 10. Okay. $12 sanity. We start with 0 exhaustion. I see exhaustion resistance is gone, but we have these 3 other resistances for endurance, resolve, and spellward. I guess exhaustion resistance must be part of this now. Right, now for skills. So plus 60 to 1 weapon skill. We were going for bladed weapons last time, which honestly was pretty good, I felt. However, I think the weapons, they had a mechanic that I never actually used. So yeah, like a quick weapon, for instance, gives a bonus to initiative. There's also a weapon speed, which does something. Yeah, what does the speed do? So it says here they also have a speed value depending on the weapon. But what does that mean? I believe it got added to the roll to hits. Let's see if that's described in combat. Weapon speed. Here we go. A weapon speed is subtracted from the target's combat skill when attacking. Okay, so it means they're less effective at dodging if you have a fast weapon. That makes sense. So maybe I want to go for something that, like a fast weapon. That could be useful. So I was using a long sword last time, which doesn't have any speed bonus. I suppose I actually need to buy our starting weapon as well, so it can't be anything too fancy. I don't know, let's go for bladed weapons again. We can pick an appropriate weapon once we get going. So bladed weapons, we'll put 60 in there. We'll put our 40 in. There was a time when I got disarmed. So maybe I'll put the 40 in unarmed, combat, and fist weapons. Plus 30 to 3 skills. So I definitely want scavenge. And thievery for getting around traps and picking locks. And maybe I want the next 30 in. Oh, resolve is gone. That's now a resistance, I guess. And endurance too. Okay, so there's been a slight like rearrangement of the skills. Some of them are resistances now. Our third 30 can go in. Medicine was pretty useful. So's dodge, because a lot of traps, the skill to evade them is dodge. So I think I'm going to put it in dodge. Then we put 20 in 2 skills. I think I want to in perception and it's going to be acrobatics, athletics, or medicine. Probably medicine does let you use bandages outside of combat, which seems useful. Let's just quickly check the medicine rules. Medicine. Yes, combined with 1 bandage, a medicine check recovers default toughness. You can also spend 1 bandage and make a medicine check to remove the bleeding and poisoned conditions. So yeah, I think that's useful. And for plus 10 to 3 skills. Let's go for reason. And then acrobatics and athletics. These are sometimes used for traps as well. Which means we have a 0 in bludgeoning weapons, shafted weapons, and stealth. So we will not be sneaky. So stealth lets you avoid combat encounters. Or possibly get a bonus in the first round of combat. So I think if you had like a stealthy character, like a character built around stealth, I think could be useful. But I don't know. I feel like other things might be more useful. I'm not sure. Right, so next we have our resistances. So these function like skills, but they do not increase with use. They are just passive benefits. Okay, so endurance is physical toughness and stamina against injury, toxins, or environmental hazards. Lets you resist bleeding, poison, fatigue, or sustain physical punishment. Resolve is willpower and mental fortitude in the face of fear, coercion, or psychological strain. And spell word is, I guess this is what magic resistance was. Yeah. Supernatural forces, spells, and arcane phenomena. Okay, so we start with 40 points in one resistance and 20 in the other two. So what I want to be most resistant to. I feel having bad magic resistance was a major hindrance against some enemies, so I'm going to put my 40 in the spell resistance. Then again, okay, so I feel that probably the two best resistances are Resolve, because a lot of enemies are frightening, or Spellward, because a lot of enemies are magical. Either of these two would be good to get the 40 in. Let's see. Let's see how leveling up works. Like how quickly, or how well can we improve these? So yes, it's 1,000 XP to level up as before. And increase. Yes, all your resistances go up by 5 when you level up. Okay. Both are good options. I think I'm going to go with Resolve because sanity damage, like the penalties can be pretty bad. Like I got just a permanent minus 10 XP to like all XP I gained, which is pretty bad from a bout of madness. So I feel we can like tank the magic damage for a couple of levels while it goes up. But it would be nice to avoid getting in the sanity death spiral early on if we can. We get some masteries, so I assume this is the same as before. Yes, two masteries. And before we were a bulwark and a weapon master. We started out, and we got amulet of emissary. So let's see what would be nice to have. So we're definitely not being a magic user with our 9 ether. Honestly, I feel the bulwark was not really doing much for us in the last game because we didn't have any armor. Actually, maybe the magic ones aren't so bad with our 9 ether. Like a lot of things have costs in the order of 4 or 5, so we won't be able to do like many things. So does ether go up when you level up? It does, yes. Ether goes up by d6 every level, so it might not be too bad. I'm thinking it would be nice to have like minions who can soak up some damage and deal extra damage for us. So like the Frost Weaver, we can summon when we get to tier 4, we can summon a creature of ice to serve us, a Frost Elemental. The Grave Caller, we can raise skeletons and explode corpses and so on. Yeah, I think something with minions would be good. Two standard actions. Let's see which was. So you get one standard action per round. So yeah, I guess yeah, raising a skeleton actually takes a little bit of effort in combat. Mm, so does summoning the frost elemental and summoning a fire elemental. Okay, so looks like maybe summoning minions may take a little bit. Yeah, this one also looks pretty nice. The target cannot use any magical action until your next turn. That can just like completely shut down um some of the more powerful enemies. Yeah, I feel the Mindbinder is a good one. I also like the passive ability here. Enemies attacking you always suffer -10 to their combat skill. So yeah, let's put that down as our first mastery. And maybe we are just a weapon master as the second one, because the weapon master was pretty good. It gave us a +10 to hit and additional damage. Ooh, successful scavenging checks give you cooking ingredients. That's very tempting. Yeah, I think in the weapon master, I quite like the weapon master one. So let's just copy these things over. It's page 44, not page 4. Right, so Mindbinder. So you got this. And Weapon Master. And we'll pick the specific weapon that we're master of, I guess, once we get to the shopping bit. And yes, we only have the tier 1 abilities unlocked to start with. Okay, that might be character creation done. Right, so let's pick some personal goals. So the first one it suggests is Overseer Overthrown. So let's take that, because that will get us an amulet, which gets us a 3rd mastery. And kill probably one of the weapon master ones, but again, we need to pick the weapon first. Yeah, let's go look at the list of weapons. Is there like a shopping bit here? When do we do our shopping? Oh no, we don't do shopping, do we? We just get stuff. Yeah, because we're thrown down here to die, so it makes sense. No one is selling us anything first. All right, so let's look at weapons and see what would be good. So what was I thinking? Like a quick weapon would be quite nice. Okay, I think we need to go for a parrying weapon because that lets us use our weapon skill. So if we go for a parrying bladed weapon, we're blocking with a 60 rather than dodging with a 40. So a dagger is parrying and quick. It is piercing damage. Before we were focusing on slashing damage, but that could be fine. The rapier is also parrying and quick and piercing. Okay, I think it's either going to be a rapier or a dagger. Let's go for the rapier because it's... then again, replacement daggers are probably easier to come by, as rapiers are expensive. Yeah, let's go for a dagger, and that means we'll be a weapon master of daggers. So we'll get a yes, the speed gives a penalty to the enemy's attacks. The dagger, it has... does the rapier have speed? No, the rapier doesn't have speed. Yes, speed would be nice as well, but I'm not sure there are any parrying and quick weapons that also have speed and are bladed. Yeah, it looks like we don't have parrying, quick, and speed, which is unfortunate, but I guess that would be like an obviously great weapon choice, so it makes sense there isn't one of those. But yes, parrying means we'll be able to defend with our saber. It's parrying. Yeah, I guess so. The quick gives you a bonus at the beginning of combats, but I guess it only affects who goes first. It doesn't really have any ongoing effects on the battle, whereas speed does. So actually, parrying with speed might be better than parrying with quick. Yeah, let's go for the saber then. Be a weapon master of sabers, which is a parrying quick weapon. Yes, I do get to wield a saber. That's much cooler than a dagger. Okay, so I get a weapon of my choosing, a random armor from the random armor table. It is going to be a helmet. Okay, what sort of helmet? A medium helmet. Okay. Let's put this over here. I need to learn how armor works now. I didn't have any armor before. Let's have a look. Page 210. Okay, so a medium helmet it gives 2 protection, but a -10 to perception. Yeah, okay, let's go for that. So my perception would normally be a 40. It's actually only going to be a 30 now. So I'm not going to be that great in initiative rolls, actually. But being able to resist damage is probably good. And it has a D8 integrity. I don't specify that it's a helmet, it's just medium. There we go. 2 protection, D8, integrity, and perception -10. I get a torch. She'll be in my... I guess in my main hand I have my saber. In my offhand I have a torch. I have D10 cooking ingredients. I feel like I didn't start the game with that. the last game with that many. Okay, 4 cooking ingredients. D10 plus 5 crafting supplies. Okay. No rations though, so gonna want to turn these cooking supplies into rations at my first camp. And 20 coins. Okay, so let's jump over to exploring Ker Nethalas. And let's see, I think we've got everything sorted out here. Oh, we need to pick a second personal objective. Let's find those. Right, so we're using a saber, which is a bladed weapon and inflicts slashing damage, I think it was. Let's have a look. Yes, so something to do with slashing damage or bladed weapons would be a good pick. So we can go for Bladed Weapon Master, which is defeat 50 opponents with the bladed weapon skill and get +1 damage while wielding a bladed weapon. That seems pretty good, I think. Yeah, I'm thinking of going for that one. Like the other potential option would be like Slashing Damage Expert, which you need to deal 200 slashing damage, which is a lot, and then you gain 1 slashing damage reduction. But I found most enemies didn't really do much slashing. Well, some did, but there was a variety of enemy damage. So instead of getting a +1 to my damage dealt is probably pretty good. Okay, I think we're ready to start exploring Ker Nethalas. Need to skim through this because don't know if anything will have changed. Okay, mapping domains. Ultimately, though, the shape of room is irrelevant, so you can get away with simply ignoring the shapes table presented in this chapter and drawing whenever you prefer. Okay, it looks like the same procedure. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's all the same procedure. Okay, so we need to determine who the overseer is first and what their influence is. It is the Infernal Archon. Weren't they the overseer in our tutorial dungeon? I think they might have been. Ooh, the little weak point is now red. I think the Infernal Archon was. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was this guy. Okay, so our overseer is the Infernal Archon. And his influence. Enemies gain the Penetrating 1 trait. So this will let them bypass 1 point of armor. But I have 2 points of armor in my head now. Right, let's open the list of shapes in another tab. Have I scrolled past it? I think I have. What page was it on? It's on page 97. Okay. And let's roll to see where we are. I think we should probably start in a room rather than a... I guess either a room or a corridor would make sense. We could have entered a domain in a corridor. Okay, we're starting in room 85. Which only has one entrance, so I guess we maybe like fell down through a hole in the ceiling. Oh, the lair die now starts at a D10 rather than it was a D12, right? Yeah, it was a D12. Okay, so dungeons will now be slightly smaller. What a relief. Let's indicate where we are in here. Okay, so we fall down through a hole in the ceiling, I suppose, into our first room, which is 3 across there, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deep and 2 more wide. So like that. I think I actually did that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Like that. Okay, and then we just come in and have a door out in the middle. Let's get a little door shape. It occurs to me I could use the color to indicate what's going on with the door. Like it could be, I don't know, light red if I don't know what's there or something. Let's see, I need a good color for unknown door. I don't know. Let's go for yellow for unknown. And now let's work through the procedure to make sure we get all the steps right. So we have found ourselves in. Actually, is there anything different in the first room? Let's have a look. I don't think there's anything special for the first room other than determining the overseer and their influence. Yep. Okay. So we have come down through a hole in the ceiling and found ourselves in this room. So we need to roll our dice. So our tension die is a d8 and our lair die is a d10. The lair die is ticking down already. A wild change from the previous dungeon. Our light source goes down by 1 point. We're using a torch, so we've got all of this space to use. And yes, these PDF images are much bigger than before, evidently. Oh well, that's fine. Now to see if there is an encounter. We do not have an encounter, so let's see if we have an event. It is event 91. A strange, clearly arcane artifact vibrates and shakes at the center of this room, which fits because it's a very round, it's a very like large open room. So I guess we've kind of like come in through the ceiling, like like here. That's way too bold. Kind of coming through the ceiling, like here, and there's. It is the size of a cart. It emits heat and light and feels and looks highly unstable as if we're about to blow up. If you attempt to somehow deactivate it, make a reason check. If you pass, the artifact stops shaking and emitting heat until it becomes inert, so you earn 10 XP. If you fail or ignore the device the next time a growing dark sound is triggered, ignore the result, and instead the whole necropolis shakes as you hear a loud explosion and debris falls on you. My webcam just went off. Is it gonna wake back up? I've lost the dice cam as well. That's a pain. Come on, dice cam. What if I turn it? Let's see. Deactivate and activate. Okay, that's the dice cam back. Now what about VG Studio? It's just frozen there. Okay, there we go. I've got the little VG Studio little mascot person fluttering around for a moment. Okay, that was weird. Right, okay, so we have a strange artifact the size of a cart that is like vibrating and emitting heat. So we can either make a reason check to try to deactivate it now, or we can ignore it, and when the tension die like runs out, we'll take 5d4 damage. What is our reason? Reason's only 10. I don't really want to start the run by taking 5d4 bludgeoning damage, so we will ignore that for now. But I'll put a little note here to remind me that event 91 is gonna happen. There we go, little hole in the ceiling. Okay, right. So something's gonna blow up. But so we need a little marker for where we are as well. Let's just have a green blob. We are the green blob. Right, okay, we come to our first door in the new edition of Ker Nethalas. So it looks like it's the same procedure to check if it is. Lock the D20. We didn't start with any lock picks. So I guess if it's locks, we're kind of stuck. Oh, I see my my stream deck has also died in the USB thing. I have a USB-C hub, which it seems is not perfectly reliable. Oh well, whatever. I can fix that afterwards. Right, so yes, D20. That's a 16. It is locked. Okay. Yeah, I guess putting text on the door doesn't really help when I've drawn it so small. Locked. Okay. So let's go to the lock picking procedures and get this right. So first we must make a perception check and use the random difficulty table, which is here. Let's copy this as we're going to need to reference this a lot. Let's put it over here. Maybe actually over by the character sheet, as we'll be referring to this in the context of skill rolls. Okay, my perception is 40, but I need to roll the random difficulty. We got a 77, which is a crit fail in our perception. We got a 2, which is a plus 20. So we're rolling against 60. So yes, we definitely didn't succeed on that. We failed the perception check, so just kind of have to decide, do I try to open the door? I mean, it's the only door I've got, so I have to. So we need to roll a d10 now. 8. It is trapped. Okay. And I've just triggered the trap. So, phase 2, resolution. I did not detect the trap. Trap triggered. Well, if there is a lock, any traps have been disarmed. They have not. So we move on to trap triggered. So I guess I'm attempting to brute force the door. Yeah, so the trap triggers as a consequence of a failed perception check. Roll to determine the trap type, then make a skill check to avoid it. Okay, so do we apply the random difficulty here? Looks like we don't, so I guess that's gone now. Alright, what sort of trap is this? It is a dodging trap. And I failed to dodge it. So, a salvo of small poisoned darts strike the character who becomes poisoned 1, unless they pass an endurance check. The darts also deal 2d4 piercing damage. Okay. I didn't resist, so I am starting the game poisoned. Lovely. And 2d4 piercing damage. Okay. And I believe there's no damage table in the new edition of Ker Nethalas. So it's just, I just take that out of my tough. That explains why my toughness is higher. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Okay, so I'm poisoned. I need to, but the trap is exhausted now. So I now can attempt to brute force it, which is an athletics check. And this is going to trigger a tension die check. And the tension die is currently a d8. So, athletics. Not great odds because I only have a 20% chance. I failed that, and the tension die has moved down a step. Now rolling against 40, that's a success. So we burst through the door, which gets 10 XP. Let's copy over the list of character advancement things, actually. It's a little bit sad this is broken over a page in the new edition. Right, so we've opened a locked door or container regardless of the method. So bursting through the door counts. So that gets 10 XP. And now let's proceed. So, what sort of place have we found ourselves in? 88. It is another room. It's one of the weirdly shaped ones. Okay. It's gonna come in like this. Whereas on this side, it comes out like this. Shit, there's a square shape. Why am I drawing a square out of lines? Because it's the same as my door shape. Oh no. Okay. There we go. And then we have a weird, like, cutout segment as well. Kind of comes in like this. Okay. Oddly shaped room. We have cleared this door so we can get rid of its scary red color. And this door is unknown, so let's make it purple. Right, so we've come into a new room, so we need to do some things. We need to roll our dice. So we've got a d6 for our tension die and a d8 for our exit die. Neither of those tick down. We need to mark off 1 point of our light source. And now we need to see, is there an encounter or something in here? 18. Yes, there is definitely an encounter. Kind of curious how the encounters have changed in this edition. I assume the rules are basically the same. It'll just be a little bit different because of the change to not having the damage table. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. Okay, and there's the same set of creatures, I think. Okay, creature 14. A Fangvine. Okay. A Fangvine possesses thick, sinewy roots resembling gnarled tendrils that slither through the soil, seeking out vibrations and scent trails of potential prey. When a living creature unknowingly steps upon the Fangvine's subterranean lair, its tendrils lash out with incredible speed, ensnaring the unfortunate victim with crushing force. Rows of razor-sharp teeth, like thorns of darkened obsidian, emerge from the earth, piercing and tearing into its prey, injecting a paralyzing venom that leaves them immobilized as the Fangvine feeds. Speaking of, we got poisoned by a trap, so that is 1 point of toughness damage as we have moved between rooms. And we don't have any bandages. We have crafting supplies, so we could make bandages. But, yeah, we need to camp for that. Right. What am I doing? Yes, go over here and we can note things down. So it has 8 health plus 2 per level, so it has 10 health. Seems a lot more health than the previous edition, but makes sense with the changes. But yes, the stat block looks very similar. Actually, what does it roll to notice? Is that mind? I suppose it would be described in the combat rolls. Let's go to combat. Okay, initiative. Yes, it is versus the target's mind. Okay. So it has a mind of 40. I have a perception of 30 because I'm wearing a helmet that obstructs my vision a bit. So it's 30 versus 40. We both failed there. So what happens? I guess it goes first. I think that's the general rule for opposed checks where both people fail. There's a special thing here for damage, but I guess for initiative it goes first because it has the better skill. Let's go with that. And let's quickly skim these rules. Okay, so we have different tables of defensive maneuvers now. That's good. Yep, just roll a bunch of dice all at once, as it says. Okay, so combat has changed a little bit, but it looks very similar. Okay. Right, so the Fang Vine, it has... we need to roll d6 for its what attack it's doing, a d100 for its hit, a d100 for my resist, and a d20 for the hit location. Doing attack 6, which is the Savage Grasp, the Fang Vine spreads tendrils underground, only to have them burst with brutal ferocity against the target. The target must pass a dodge check, which I did. I rolled a 39. I have a dodge of 40. Or become restrained. Okay. So it did not manage to hit me with that, which is good. Right. Yes, do I get to do a defensive move? Or is it only if it's like an actual attack? I guess, yeah, I'm not parrying it, so I suppose... Yeah. Yeah, so it's not like an attack with an opposed check, so I don't think I can do a defensive move. So instead, I will attack it, and let's just have a quick look at my abilities. So, Suppress Mind, not useful here. Oh yes, I forgot about this. Enemies attacking all suffer -10 to their combat skills. That'll be useful to bear in mind, because that's going to really help. And I'm a Saber Master, so I guess I will just go with the standard evasive strike every round, because it's just a good thing. I have to find like a cool saber picture to use to illustrate what my character looks like. But okay, let's go for it. So my D100s. I need a D20 for my hit location. And I'm rolling a D6 plus D4 for damage, because I am a weapon master of sabers. And its speed doesn't apply here. That only applies if the enemy is making it. Actually, I guess it does. Yeah, it will affect its defensive thing. Yeah. So it's defending with a 45 rather than a 55, rather than a 50. So I have a fast saber. Okay, I got a 9 to hit. It got a 5 to defend. I rolled high, so I succeed. I've hit it in location 2. It is a serpentoid. Location 2 is the body, I'm pretty certain. Yes, I've not copied over my hit location table. Let's find the hit locations. Because I'll refer to these in every single fight. Just kind of pile these up over here. Quadruped and serpentoid. Yes, I've hit the body, which has 2 points of armor on. Yes, 2 armor and see, damage. Dealing damage. Okay, so I've rolled my 2 dice. I've got a 6 and a 2, but only one of the rolls applies. Okay, so I'd go for the 6 because it's the higher number. And the different damage types have different effects. So this is slashing damage, which doesn't. When an attack dealing slashing damage deals 3 or less damage, it deals an additional +1. Okay. It's a little annoying that every single damage type has a slightly different behavior. Okay. Right, okay, so that's 6 damage minus 2 for the armor, so there's 4 damage. So let's mark that down. So yes, consulting this list is somewhat annoying, but it is better than cross-referencing every roll against a table. Oh, we're coming to nearly 3 hours. I guess we'll resolve this fight and check if this door is locked, and we'll probably end the stream there. Okay, the Fang Vine attacks. It is doing an ensnaring grasp. The Fang Vine's tendrils lash out at a target within reach, attempting to ensnare them. It makes a melee attack, dealing d6 bludgeoning damage on a hit. If it hits, the target is restrained. It got a 94 to hit, so that is a miss. I got a 52 to parry, which is a successful parry. So I get to roll on the defensive table. An 8. You press your advantage, reducing your opponent's next defensive check by -20. Very nice. Okay, I shall strike at the vine. Strike while the vine is hot, as they say. So I got a 60 to hit, which yes, that is my. I'm rolling against an 80, unless the +10 has changed. Let's see. Yes, the attacker has a +10, so that's a 70. +10 because I'm a weapon master. So I'm rolling against 80. Good. It failed to defend, so I hit it on the body again, so it is going to be armored. And I got a 6 and a 3, so I'll take the 6 again. So that is another 4 points of damage. And that's its defensive thing used up. Okay, now it attacks. I got a 94 to do. Oh, okay, what's it doing first? It's doing number 5, a savage grasp. Okay, so I must pass a dodge check or become restrained. I did not pass a dodge check, so I am restrained. So the Fang Vine doesn't act against a character while they are affected by this action. It will either change target or simply wait for the character to die or free themselves. So let's see. So while restrained, the target suffers 2 piercing damage. I assume that's just going to be per round. Restrained, 2 piercing damage. And let's check what restraining does here. Let's see, conditions. Restrained. Yes, incapable of moving, and all acrobatics, weapon skills, dodge, and athletics and body checks suffer a -20 penalty. I can attempt a free action to burst out of this. Okay, right, so my turn. So I guess I start by taking 2 damage for being restrained, and then I will make my free athletics check to try to break out of this. Which I assume this free check uh, has the standard -20 because it's an athletics check. Yeah, I would assume. So actually, I can't do that then. I'm pretty close to killing it. I might as well just go for it and climb out of the inert body of the dead vine rather than waste time trying to free myself. Okay, so I got a 26 to hit, which is a success even when restrained. It got a 49 to defend. Its combat skill is 50, but I have a fast weapon that has a 5 speed, so it actually failed that roll, which is nice. Good weapon choice. I hit the body again, and I'm going to do 0 damage because I've got a 2 on the d4 and a 2 on the d6. But a slashing weapon, if it deals 3 or less damage, deals an additional 1. So I guess a slashing weapon is always going to deal at least 1 damage. So, not great, not terrible. It's its turn now, but it says that it won't attack. The Fang Vine doesn't act against a character while they're affected by its action. It will either change target or simply wait for the characters to die or free themselves. So the Fang Vine doesn't do anything, which means you come around to my turn again. I take 2 damage for being restrained by a tooth-covered plant, and I'll try to hit it again. Okay, that's an 82 to hit, which is a failure with the penalty. It didn't manage to dodge either, so okay, I guess another round goes around. So I'll take another 2 damage for being restrained as the plant squeezes me to death. I'll make another attack to try to free myself. That's a 17 to hit. It missed its dodge. And I've got, well, it's going to come out as 0 damage. No, 19, that's the head. I hit it in the head, which is not armored. Let's see, what does a critical hit do in this new edition? So previously, a critical hit would deal double damage. Okay, it does double. So I guess striking creatures' weak spots can do an automatic critical strike. A critical success while targeting a weak spot only counts as a single critical strike. You do not triple the damage dealt. So I guess, like implicitly, you double the damage there. It doesn't like explicitly say, which is a little annoying. Ah, here we go. It's not in the damage bit. It's separately. Okay. They have their damage doubled. So I pick the die, and then I pick the die to inflict the damage of. double the result and then add a modifier. So I've got unfortunately I have a 1 on both dice here. So I'll just be dealing 2 damage. And it will actually be 2 because the Serpentoid only has armor on. So the Fangvine only has body armor, it doesn't have head armor. But if I'd rolled like a 1, if I'd rolled like a 6 on the d6 again, I'd be dealing 12 damage because I would pick 6 and then double that, and 6 times 2 is 12. But 2 damage is more than what I need. I really only needed 1 damage, but I did it. I defeated the Fangvine, so that's going to be 1 opponent defeated here. I assume I recover D4 toughness after a combat again. Yes, all characters immediately recover D4 toughness after a fight is over. So rules-wise, this is like very similar so far to the previous edition of Ker Nethalas. It's just a little bit more streamlined. Okay, so 2 toughness comes back. And the resources table is where its loot is. This section looks identical to the previous one, probably just copied over directly. Okay, right. 5, a cooking ingredient. Nice. Okay, and also I get 50 XP. So let's now go and check out this door. So I'm in this room. I think I marked 1 tot. Yeah, I marked 1 off my light source. So let's see, is the door locked? It is not locked. Let's I want to check it for traps. So that's a perception check modified by the random difficulty. I'm pretty sure I didn't succeed that. My perception is a 30. Yeah. Okay. It's 4, so yeah, normal difficulty. So I don't know if it is traps or not. It's not locked, but maybe traps. And also I realize, color coding this isn't going to work. I'll just forget what the colors mean. No. I can just pick colors, and as long as I note them down, it's fine. So what I want, I need locked and unlocked, and I can put this in a table. This is going to be much better. So we have locked and unlocked. Trapped. Not trapped. And unknown. So I guess we also have unknown here. We don't really need whether it's unknown, whether it's locked or unlocked. So I always check immediately. Okay, so unlocked and not trapped. This is obviously going to be just clear, a nice normal regular door. Let's make it white actually. Locked and not trapped. Let's make this green. Locked and trapped. This is like the worst sort of door, pretty much. Let's make this purple, and unlocked and trapped. This can be pink. Then locked and unknown. That's too similar to the other purple. Okay, let's redo this. So locked and trapped can be red. Locked and not trapped, green. Locked and unknown, violet. And then we'll just have paler shades for these. So unlocked and not knowing whether it's trapped or not will be this. And yeah, perfect. Wonderful. This is totally better than just writing names. So this door, it is locked. Sorry, no, it is unlocked, but we do not know whether it is trapped. Okay, great. This door should be white. Okay, perfect. Okay, I guess we'll leave that there. We also have event 91. This mysterious device here is going to explode at some point when the tension die runs out. But yes, we shall continue this next time with Ker Nethalas Gravebound Edition, which we'll hopefully get into, and it'll be a bit more smooth than the previous edition. Also, now that I actually know how to play and what skills are important. So thanks for tuning in, and see you... Well, I'll explain what's happening next time first. So next time, Friday, I'm not going to be playing a game. Instead, on Friday, I'll be talking about my home game. So we recently wrapped up a 3-year campaign of the Halls of Ardenful, which is a mega dungeon. So I will talk a bit about my experiences of running that, like what I liked, what I didn't like, general thoughts about the module. It was very good. I'm very, very positive with it. Like my complaints about it are fairly minor in comparison. So yeah, we're talking a bit about that, and then I will talk about what I'm going to run next for my home game, which will be Hot Springs Island, which I'm going to be running with the White Hack system, and we'll get onto some session or campaign prep if there's time. There probably will be time in the stream, because Hot Springs Island is a pretty cool setting, but it is written in a completely system-neutral fashion, and not the good sort of system-neutral fashion where something is described as like, oh, it's as tough as a guy wearing plate mail, or it does damage like a sword. No, it's written in the annoying system-agnostic way where there are no stats at all, and you just kind of have to infer from context how powerful everything is. So I'll need to do a fair bit of campaign prep for this, and yes, we'll get onto some of that on Friday. And then Saturday will be video games. I'm thinking Caves of Cud. So, yep, that's the schedule for the week. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.